really enjoy baking at Christmas time. And what I'm going to show you today is how to make 3 different sorts of Christmas cookies with the same dough. So I'm going to make bullseyes, twirly shortbread and jam rings. For the dough, we need 250 grams of flour, 75 grams of sugar, 180 grams of butter and 1 egg. I mix all that in a big metal bowl, first with a metal scraper to break the butter into smaller pieces so that it all turns into a crumbly kind of mix. And then I mix the dough with my hands until it resembles something like this. And if we repeat that another 2 times, we should have 3 bowls of dough. So first we make the twirly shortbread. The first bowl of dough gets cut in half, and 1 half gets mixed with about 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. I just knead the powder into the ball of dough, and after a while we should end up with a dark brown bowl of dough and a yellow one. There we go. So both of those balls get rolled out on the table. Use a lot of flour so that the dough doesn't stick to the table. There we go. Roll it out to about 5 millimeters thickness, or even less if you can. And layer both sheets of dough on top of each other. Tuck them down a bit and roll them up into nice roll. Tuck in the sides and put the roll on a wooden board, and it goes into the fridge overnight. Now, next, the bullseyes. We take the second bowl of dough, and with my fingers I break off small bits of dough and roll them into little round balls, about sweet chestnut size big. So I continue until I've used up all the dough, and those balls go straight on a baking tray lined with baking paper. So the next step is using a wooden spoon. I dip the end into flour and make little dents into each cookie. The end of the spoon is powdered with flour, otherwise the spoon would just stick to the dough. There we go. That tray goes into cold room overnight. So the jam rings next. For those, we take the third bowl of dough and roll it out on the table. Again, use lots of flour so that it doesn't stick. And then we cut out little round cookies. Now, half of those cookies we turn into rings by taking out a small bit in the middle. I use an apple corer for that. That's the perfect shape for that job. So we continue. Try to make sure you have an equal number of whole cookies and rings, because we pair them up later on. So all the little bits can be used again and again and rolled out again until we have used up all the dough. Turned out well, didn't it?
Ooh, can I have one? Well, look, if I have one of those and you have one of those, nobody will know.
Well, there'll be a gap there then. So after not too many losses to hungry elves, we should end up with an equal number of rings and cookie bottoms. The rings get powdered with icing sugar. And we spread raspberry jam on the whole cookies. And then they just get put together. And we have our jam rings. So after all that baking, it's time to go to bed and rest. The next day we come back to our twirly shortbread roll, which should have gone all nice and firm in the fridge overnight. And it's perfect now to cut it into thin slices with a knife. And it should look wonderful and twirly. Those cookies go straight on a baking tray lined with baking paper, and go into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. So what about our bullseyes? Well, they've gone nice and firm overnight as well, and they are ready to go into the oven, 180 degrees for about 15 minutes. Then they should look like this, and they get a nice dusting with icing sugar, and then we fill the dents with jam. I use blackcurrant jam because that's nice and zesty. It's a nice combination with the sugar. There we go. All done.
Ooh, they look good.
Nice Christmas cookies.
Just the season for eating biscuits. Lovely.
Lovely.
Ooh, nice this jam.
Okay then.
I have my mouth full now. Hang on, more coffee.